In today's video, sorry Russ, I forgot. Old habits.
Welcome back to Smoky Ribs. I'm Russ Jones. Today is episode 3 of my beginner's guide to grilling and barbecue. And this would not be a complete beginner's guide without talking about pellet grills, wood pellet grills. They have gained so much popularity in the last few years, and their simplicity of use is why they're so popular among a lot of people. I've owned a couple of them myself, and I've had good results with them. That's one thing about them. Whatever you put on, you get amazing results with it. And they're very easy to run, and it's something, like I said, beginners really enjoy, but I'm no beginner and I enjoy cooking on them. I mean, you know, you can turn this thing on. They didn't get the name Easy Bake Oven for no reason. That's just how easy they are to run. It's like turning your oven on. You turn them on, you get them up to heat, you put your meat in, you can go inside, you can take a nap, you can watch TV. Now, I have a good friend of mine that is well versed in the pellet world, the wood pellet smokers, grills, whatever you want to call it. And when I first thought about doing this video, I said, you know what, I think I'm going to ask him if he would rather do this for me, because he's going to do a whole lot better job and be a lot more thorough than what I ever could, because he's got a lot more experience in this arena. I'm more of a woods charcoal kind of guy. Anybody that's been following me for the last 8.5 years knows this. Pellets are kind of new to me as well. And with that said, if you look at the thumbnail, that's kind of a clue as a new pellet grill that's coming into my channel very soon. But without any further ado, I want to introduce you to Jeff Rice, better known as Ricer, from the YouTube channel Dead Broke Barbecue. He's going to be heading this video up 100%, and he's going to knock it out of the park. Please welcome Jeff right now.
Hey, this is Ricer from Dead Broke Barbecue, Wisconsin, and I want to thank my good buddy Russ for having me do this video on how a pellet grill works. If you're thinking about getting your own pellet grill, well, I will tell you that they're very convenient, they're easy to run with a very small learning curve. And the fire management on a pellet grill is way easier than a stick burner or even a kettle. Now, I have cooked on several different types, brands, and styles of pellet grills, and I have produced some incredible backyard barbecue for my friends and family. I've cooked ribs, pork butt, steaks, brisket, chicken, seafood, and even my favorite, some beef short ribs braised with a little bit of red wine. So let's get down to it. Number 1, what is your budget? What are you gonna wanna do with this cooker? How many people do you got? And how big do you need? Do you want the creature comforts like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and even some of these have where you can just type in what you're gonna cook and it'll help you run it right through it until it's done. Best way that I can explain it, that there's 3 levels of these styles of cookers. You have your box store, you have your mid-level, and then you have your high-end, big dollar, but beautiful and gonna last a really long time. Now, you also have to figure out what your ultimate goal is to do with this pellet grill. Do you wanna just smoke on it because you have a great charcoal grill and or a gas grill? Or do you want it to be very versatile so you can do both? You can sear up a steak and you can also low and slow some good old-fashioned brisket. So now some of you out there might be actually asking, how does a pellet grill work? So basically there's 6 parts to a pellet grill. Number 1, you've got your hopper. And they come in a variety of sizes. This particular model is only 20 pounds, but they go all the way up to 40 pounds. Some might even have bigger hoppers, but the biggest one that I have is a 40 pounder. So is your plan to go ahead and do an overnight pork butt, or you just wanna grill up some chicken? Now, a smaller hopper, obviously you're gonna have to put a lot more attention to it. You start to get what's called a damming effect. It's kind of like how logs jam up down the river. But no matter what size of hopper you have, you still want to check it frequently. When it comes to the pellets, there's all different types of brands, flavors, and sizes. And now we're to the auger, and that's basically just a corkscrew that's gonna turn those pellets right to the fire pot. The fire pot, well, it's exactly how it sounds. That's where your fire is for this cooker. Now, what's inside that fire pot is called an igniter. And as that igniter starts to heat up and those pellets start to fall on it, for you guys that own a diesel, think of it like a glow plug. And as they start to smolder and get hot, they catch on fire, along with our next point, the fan. Now the fan is actually creating the draft and the airflow to that fire pot to keep that fire stoked up. Now one thing that the majority of them have is what's called a heat deflector. And even some of them have what's called a sear plate, and that's where you can go ahead and start doing some grilling. The cooking chamber on a pellet grill is very similar to a convection oven, but you're using wood to cook your food. Look, I gotta get a drink, dude. God. Now we get into the controller, and remember, this has to have electricity to make it run. There's all different types of controllers, but you're gonna have to plug this cooker in. The original one, which I like to call an analog controller, is calibrated for the amount of revolutions for the desired temperature that you want to cook at. And with an analog controller, the fan is always running. Now the other type of controller, it's called PID, and it's actually getting to be pretty popular with a lot of the models that you're seeing in the box store. Now PID stands for Proportional Integral Derivative. Derivative.
I don't even think that's a word.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Derivative. Now PID stands for Proportional Integral Derivative. God, that's kind of a dumb name for a cruise control. So now that we've gone over on how a pellet grill works, we might as well fire it up and get something under some smoke. I've got 3 racks of St. Louis cut ribs all rubbed up and they're putting on a sweat. But this isn't about actually how you cook ribs. We're just gonna go through the steps to get this pellet grill running. So all you have to do is just turn the power on. Then you're gonna hear the fan kick in and the auger is gonna start turning. Make sure that you always do on the initial startup is open up the lid and let all the white smoke get out of the chamber. If you don't have a receptacle real close to your pellet grill, make sure that you're using a heavier gauge extension cord. The thin ones, they get a little weak and they can actually pop a breaker. Now obviously this is the white smoke that I'm talking about. Once you hear what I call an afterburner, that means that fan is really pushing right on top of that fire pot. And when you're burning clean like this, close up your lid and let this pellet grill come up to temperature, whatever it is that you're cooking at. Today, I'm cooking at 250 degrees. Check the hopper to make sure we have enough pellets in it. Go ahead and open up the lid. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to add some pellets to this one. Now after I've opened a bag, I always store my pellets in a bucket. But this is really easy, just go ahead and start dumping them in. And make sure you get it all the way till it's full. So here's our St. Louis cuts. Let's go ahead and get these right in this pellet grill. Now another main important thing is you always want to make sure that you know your cooker and how its temps run. On this little pit boss, this is your cool zone and this is your hot zone. So if you get a new cooker, you're going to want to make sure that you know where your hot and cool zones are. On this particular model, there is about a 30 to 40 degree difference from right to left. And we'll just get this last one in here, and obviously the way you put them in is the way they're gonna cook. Close up your lid and now you're finally starting to cook something. And I suggest that you always set a timer so you can come back out here and check on your food. Like most cookers, it's always good to add a little bit of moisture to your meat. You can accomplish this by 2 ways. You can add a small little water pan in here, or you can just spritz them up every time you come out here and rotate them. Now here's 5 tips and tricks to help you make your pellet grilling a lot more successful. Number 1, learn how to store your pellets. Keep them off the floor because they're made of wood, right? They love to absorb moisture. And if you're not planning on using your cooker for a couple days, dump the pellets out of the hopper. Because if the pellets start to swell up, you're gonna have what's called an auger jam. And trust me, it's not a lot of fun having to pull off that hopper and clear a jam. Number 2, get in the habit of checking your cooker. Don't just set it and forget it. That's why on every single cook, I'm using a timer, and you got one right in your pocket on your cell phone. Number 3, use your probes. Almost every single cooker has 2 probe ports, and they send you at least 1 probe so you can keep monitoring that internal temperature on what you're cooking. They're super simple. You just go ahead and plug them in, and then you just stick the probe into the thickest part of the meat. But one thing I certainly will suggest is that you get a good handheld thermometer. One like this ThermalWorks will save you a lot of hassles and bad cooks. And you can even use it to check the outside temperature. It's pretty cold here in Wisconsin today. Number 4, plan ahead. Make sure that you have all of your supplies ready for your cook. Make sure you have extra pellets, extra rub, extra seasonings, aluminum foil, pans, and even maybe butcher paper. And number 5, just have fun. Don't get consumed by fear. The more you cook, the easier it is, and it doesn't take long. Your neighbors get a lot more friendly too. At the end of a cook on a pellet grill, it's really simple. All you have to do is press the power button and it'll go into about a 15-minute shutdown sequence. So my ribs are finishing up on this pellet grill, and for those who want to know, it took just under 5 hours to get these done. So you can see that a pellet grill can cook this. Wow, it's a good looking bone, but I can tell right now that these are nice and tender. We've got really good pullback on this set. Now before I go ahead and slice up a few of these bones, I want to thank all of you for watching this video on how a pellet grill works. I also want to thank Russ for having me get involved in making this video. Thanks, bud. And if you haven't checked out my channel, Dead Broke Barbecue, I'd appreciate you stopping by and say, "Hey Ricer, I saw you over on Russ's channel." And if you have other friends that are interested in learning more about a pellet grill, share this video. They'll appreciate it. They might even thank you. All right, enough talking. Finally, I get to try out some of these St. Louis cut ribs. Just grab them, cut right into them. Gonna have to cut off another bone though. I'm hungry. Well, now I hope you can see this because we got a really nice little smoke ring there. And some really good color. Here goes nothing. Good smoky flavor for sure. And just the way I like them, it's got a nice bite off the bone. I love it when they get like this because it looks like a lollipop. Well, I'm sorry, Russ. I'm sure I have sauce all over my face, but you know me. I'm a messy Marvin. But I've always said a little mud on your face means it's good barbecue. I mean, come on. That's a really nice smoke ring right off a pellet grill. You know the greatest thing about having a barbecue channel is that if you're done filming, you get rewarded with a little bit of food.
As I said, he was gonna knock this out of the park, and he did not let me down. He delivered. I hope y'all go over there and check Jeff out at Dead Broke Barbecue. Links in the description box. He not only gives you all the information you need, but he has a lot of humor and entertainment in his videos. He's one of my go-to channels that I watch religiously, and I encourage you to do the same. I want to thank him so much for being a part of this and helping me out with this. I couldn't think of anyone more qualified to talk about pellet grills than Jeff Rice, better known as Rice or Dead Broke Barbecue. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Next week, we're going to get into Kamado style cooking with a Kamado style cooker, and I'll see you then with that one. Till next time, smoke your ribs.
Now, PID stands for Proportional Integral Derivative. Did I say it right? Finally? Okay.
Move to the next camera.